Suck 'em if you got 'em. Ed, and Eddy are back.
When Ed, and Eddy aired its 5th season in late 2005, a 6th season was ordered as well as a movie, which was hinted at on one of the bonus features of the 2nd season DVD.
You know, everybody always wants to know what's underneath Double D's hat, but you know what? You ain't gonna find out until we do the feature. So write the card, tell them you want a feature, and we'll do it. We'll show you what's underneath Double D's hat, and believe me, you won't be the same.
Instead of working on both, Danny and Tanusi decided to shorten the 6th season to focus more on the movie, which according to one of the writers, Mike Cubitt, was originally slated for a theatrical release.
But I do remember that, you know, there was a lot of buzz around it, and especially because Cartoon Network were talking about it being a theatrical release. So that was a huge, like, whoa, like I get to be part of making a movie like that. That's like the next level, like of what we do, right? We were used to writing, you know, little, you know, these episodes for television, but a movie seemed like a grand, huge undertaking. It was very, very appealing.
This is interesting because I wouldn't think CN would even try to do another theatrical release after the failure of the Powerpuff Girls movie, and especially after the disastrous promotion for the Aqua Teen movie. The result was a series finale TV movie, Ed, and Eddy's Big Picture Show. First off, I love the way this movie opens. We see quiet shots of the cul-de-sac, no music or anything, just ambient noise. We know something has to be up. Then, hard cut to the aftermath of the latest Ed scam gone awry, which afterwards, we see the Eds frantically packing their things and planning on leaving town, already you're at the edge of your seat and wondering what's going on. I think it's clever they never explain what the scam was, rather than leaving it up to the viewer. We just know whatever happened, the Eds are in deep shit. And the injured cul-de-sac kids don't want to pound the Eds like usual. They are out for blood. The beginning and ending of the movie are probably the best parts of the film. After a thrilling chase involving Eddy's brother's car, the Eds wind up in the desert. Eddy decides to lead his friends to his brother's house, for safety. Only problem is he doesn't know where he lives. So the Eds set off to find Eddy's brother's place. The kids, meanwhile, are furious the Eds got away, and they band together to find them, so they can get theirs. But not that the Kinkersons have anything to say about it. So the movie is pretty much a road trip, which is fine by me. I love road trip movies. It's nice to get some new locations here. In a show, we're usually stuck in a cul-de-sac or at a school, but we get to see a desert, a field, an abandoned gag factory, a swamp, and a carnival where Eddy's brother resides. All very atmospheric and well designed. Another thing I love about this film is the ante is definitely upped. The Eds find out their scam went too far and need to escape. The relationship between Double D and Ed and Eddy is put to the test. The famous scene is during the quicksand sequence in the swamp, where Double D believes he lost his only 2 friends in the world, only for it to be an immature prank, which caused Double D to rightfully blow up at them. We see a different shade of Eddy too. His aggressive behavior over the years comes from a need of wanting to be liked, and also from the abuse of his older brother, who finally makes his appearance. He's played by the show's voice director, Terry Klassen. During the last act, the kids see Eddy's brother, someone who they admire/fear for years, for the monster he really is, and come to his defense when he hurts him in Double D. He's defeated by Ed, who knocks him out with its trailer door. The funny thing is, this ending wasn't even supposed to happen. Eddy would have lied about his brother's existence after all these years, causing Double D and Ed to finally abandon him, leaving him in the wrath of the kids. The cops would have showed up to arrest the kids for all the damage they caused, and the film would have ended with all of them in the back of the police car. Danny didn't like how dark this ending was, so he had to change. The writers weren't too happy about it because they were proud of this original ending. The kids forgive the Eds, maybe a little too fast, but I get it, we need to wrap things up. And for the first time ever, the 3 outcasts finally get what they always wanted: acceptance. As the movie ends with the cul-de-sac kids cheering and singing while carrying their new friends, and the Kankers preparing to do Lord knows what to Eddy's unconscious brother, the film closes with Double D labeling the screen with "The End," a nod to the first episode. Big Picture Show aired on Cartoon Network Sunday, November 8th, 2009. It was accompanied by an Ed, and Eddy marathon. Now, this was during an interesting time during my history with CN. I started to lose interest in Cartoon Network, not because I was getting older and I thought I was too good for cartoons. I think I was a sophomore in high school at the time. but it was mostly because I wasn't really liking what the channel became and thought it was a betrayal of what CN stood for. Keep in mind, this movie came out a few months after this bomb, so it goes without saying we were still in the dark ages. I think I was watching Adult Swim more I was watching the main channel, but I did tune in once in a while to watch reruns of older CN shows, Tom and Jerry shorts, a Scooby movie of the week, and most notably, when they brought back the Looney Tunes. I was all over that. And especially Big Picture Show. I remember I didn't get to watch it when it first aired. I think I was on punishment, though I did get to sneak and record a movie on a VHS tape the second time it aired. And as you can imagine, I loved it. It wrapped up everything nicely, and it was the end of an era. The true end of the cartoons, despite the fact that CN abandoned that moniker in 2004. And with it, it remains Cartoon Network's longest running original series. And I know most of you will bring up Teen Titans Go, but to clear that up once and for all, that's a Warner Brothers property and not a CN original. Sadly, this never got a home media release. It's not even available on a complete series box set. And it's also kind of telling, whenever you search this movie, one of the first things that pops up is a fan art poster by Kevin Lordy. And with that, Ed, Edd n Eddy was over. AKA Cartoon was dormant the next few years, reruns were off and off the CN's schedule, and a cast and crew moved on to other projects. Tony Sampson, voice of Eddy, retired from acting to work in the oil sands and eventually become a musician. Sadly, it was revealed on the Cartoon Chronicles podcast, Sampson was threatened to be blacklisted by the voiceover agency he was under because he asked for a raise, which led to him quitting. Super shameful on the agency's part. I'm glad he was able to stand up for himself and not get jerked around. Tony, you the man. Danny Antonucci, meanwhile, has been having trouble getting projects off the ground. Danny has always been outspoken about his displeasure in the animation industry in recent years, and I'm wondering if that has anything to do with it. In an interview with Animation Magazine, he mentioned spending 2 years developing a Lupo the Butcher TV series for Netflix, only to be asked to change it to PG-13 at the last minute, which Danny refused. This new series would have expanded more on the Lupo character and introduced some of his family members. I'm actually surprised Netflix was interested to begin with. I won't deny Netflix has become a perfect home for creator-driven animation, but I feel this would have been more at home on Adult Swim, and I think they would have taken more of a chance on this sort of irreverent art style and tone. Danny also mentions being approached by Warner Brothers to do a Scooby-Doo show, but Warner's legal department canceled it after a year. He doesn't give a time frame for this, but I'm wondering if this was an early version of Be Cool Scooby-Doo before Zach Moncrief and company came aboard. Who knows? One pilot Danny was working on for a potential TV series was called Snot Rocket, released in 2017. It's about a dog who looks suspiciously like Butch from the Tex Avery cartoons and his owner, a little boy with an overactive imagination, as the dog constantly has to get him out of trouble. I can see this easily airing on CN or even Nickelodeon if it did get picked up. The fast pace might be a little too much for some viewers, but the surreal visuals are nice and it's certainly entertaining. The same year Big Picture Show was released, the Eds and the Kankers were playable characters in a multiplayer online game, Cartoon Network Universe Fusion Fall, with the voice actors returning, with the notable exception of Eddy's voice actor, Tony Sampson, who long retired by then. Instead, he's voiced by James Arnold Taylor. Now, James Arnold Taylor is a phenomenal talent, and he does the best he can, but honestly, there is only one Eddy, and you can't imagine him being voiced by anyone else. Also, some of the lines here I just don't see Eddy saying.
Oh no, you didn't!
The Eds would appear time to time in Cartoon Network specials and promos whenever the channel celebrated an anniversary, usually in non-speaking cameos. In 2014, Ed, Edd n Eddy appeared alongside Dexter, the Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10, and Samurai Jack in a Cartoon Network crossover comic, Super Secret Crisis War. And yeah, the one thing that bugs me about this is that the Eds are poorly drawn and out of character. Double D saying dudes is probably the most surreal thing ever. In 2021, the voice actors for the Eds made an appearance together for the first time in years on the What's in My Head podcast, now known as the Cartoon Chronicles, hosted by my good friend Julian, who's one of my favorite interviewers on this platform, and I hope his channel gets huge soon. This video garnered a lot of attention, especially from fans. Personally, seeing the three of them reminisce and doing the voices and banter off each other really puts a smile on my face. In recent years, the cast appeared at several cons like Nostalgia Con. I'm hoping one day they come to a con near me. I would love to meet them. Plus, the reels I see on Instagram with the actors doing shtick and character with other senior voice actors like Jeff Bennett, voice of Johnny Bravo, and Marty Grabstein, voice of Courage, made me very emotional. Fans such as the aforementioned Kevin Lordy have kept the fan base alive with their own works based on the show, and one fan project I really recommend is Peach Creek, a web series that takes place where the series left off. Fast forward to years later, where the characters are now teenagers dealing with their own issues. Usually this more melancholy tone would be a turnoff for me, but the way it's done here is really intriguing. I was sucked in. The whole concept of the cul-de-sac kids as teenagers or older has been done to death by fans, but this feels more realistic. Somehow you believe these characters would end up here at this point in their lives. There's only been one full episode uploaded so far, with more on the way. If you're an Ed and Eddy fan, you owe it to yourself to check it out. So this is how our Ed story ends, with 130 episodes, 4 specials, and a movie. I remember watching this series when it first aired January of 1999, and I've been a fan since. It's a show that dealt with adolescence in a humorous way, and the characters are still relatable and iconic to this day. You could even see the series' influence in other works, like Workaholics and Clarence, the latter another CN show. Danny Antonucci is someone who I don't feel gets enough recognition from the mainstream nowadays. Evident with how many of his current projects were cancelled or just didn't happen. He really is an artist in every sense of the word, and I'd like to see him try again, maybe even go indie, since that industry is booming nowadays. Ed and Eddy is a solid animated series made by the right people at the right time on the right network that's still popular after all these years. It's a show that will be remembered for years to come, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Sun's up, I hit the floor. Shoes tied, I'm out the door. Is this a clean shirt? I think it was one yesterday.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon for more updates, and like and comment on the video. It helps a great deal in the algorithm. Also, if you like what you saw today and want to support the channel, consider pledging to my Patreon. Yes, I finally got my old one back. For early access, exclusive vids, or requests for your own fantastic legacy of HANNA-BARBERA minisodes review. Hope you all stay tuned because I got more stuff coming your way. I'll catch you later.